Good evening and welcome to Mr. Wilson Live. A day it was today. We started our preparation some 2 months ago, trying to ensure our students from across the Caribbean would be ready in time. The human and social biology paper went by today. The alternative to practical for human and social biology went by as well. And also the biology paper 3 went. For the human and social biology, from what I'm hearing, it was an awesome paper. And of course, we now have to prepare our students for biology paper 1. It seems like it's going to be a year that a lot of persons will be celebrating passes in the sciences. I'm not too sure for the other subjects. I've not heard about the other subjects. But I can tell you from the feedbacks that I've been getting, it is really wonderful. I haven't hugged anyone in quite a while, probably my significant other and my child. But today I had hugs, I had shake hands. I know if I could convert those into money, probably tonight I'd be a rich man. But most persons came out saying that the exam was really good. Now we want to prepare the bio students tonight. We might be going up till about 10 or 11, though I am really tired. So to get me to 10 or 11, it means that you're going to be participating in the class. It means that you're going to be following the rules and you're not going to be paying attention to the minor. We are going to be majoring in the major and just leave the minor alone. All right. So we're going to definitely have a good time. We had about 10 new questions today on the human and social biology. When I went to work this morning, I went through 4 papers for the day. I went through I went through no specimen paper. Oh yes, I went through the specimen paper for human and social biology. I went through 2019, I went through 2020, and I went through 2021. And it was like I was a genius. Pretty much those 4 papers captured nicely what was on the multiple choice paper for human and social biology. Will we be as accurate tomorrow with the biology exams? For if I have any students here that I would teach or assist in teaching, I am going to ask you to turn up for school early tomorrow because I will be given time to pretty much go through some revision with you until exam time as we were able to do today. All the persons who were at the revision today, they did extremely well based on what they would have said, including those persons who stopped by last night for the multiple choice marathon. They are also celebrating. As a matter of fact, a couple of persons would have said to me, I am almost late for my exam because of you. You had a live last night for 3 hours. So, with that said, we're going to be cutting the live after each paper and restart so that it's sort of easy on persons who are watching the live, listening to the explanation, and of course, being a part of the Caribbean integration. We got this evening, and we're going to be showing you some of the comments that we got. It says, good evening, sir. Thank you for all the videos. I felt good about today's exam. However, I will be attending your classes soon. For those persons who are not on yet, I teach biology and human and social biology full-time online. I do my labs just the same. We're working out something with a school in Tree that we can do labs. I want to move away from alternative to practical. Persons who are in Jamaica who want to be a part of what we have here, which is of course a class that you choose. All our classes are in the night. So you don't have to tell any boss anymore. Bossy, I am begging you 2 hours to go to class. No. And our classes are recorded. So as soon as you come home, you can replay if you were not at the class. If you did not understand something, you can replay. So this is modern education, education with a rewind button. Now we also saw this when I came in. It was an easy exam for the human and social biology students. And then I'm saying, sir, paper 1 was sweet. Yes, paper 1 was sweet. I'll just talk about 5 or 10 of the questions that were on the paper. All right. Hi, sir. I'm back from Guyana. Tanisha, where were you all this time? I had Tanisha last year, and I wondered whether Tanisha was a student. or pretty much if she was a teacher. She was like really, really brilliant, and I'm sure that we're going to be seeing Tanisha tonight. All right, paper one was nice, and then I'm seeing this here. Yes, sir, you're really. I don't know. This is what they are saying about me. I think that they are going overboard. They are saying, yes, sir, you are really, really good at what you do. I really would like to say a big thank you for all your support and help. Thanks once again. All right, my pleasure. I try my best. Not the best, but I try my best. Much thanks from the Caribbean nation. All right, I am very happy that we are doing something that we can help. All right, it says here, forgive me for not saying good evening. I am just excited. We understand. We're seeing the good nights coming in, and we are seeing, do you have paper one 2022? Which of the paper one 2022? I tend to have a lot of past papers because students tend to send them to me, parents send them to me, teachers send them to me. People send them to me to ask my idea or opinion on questions. Not that I know everything, but people still value my opinion. I think I did my best. All right. So, yes, we have the January 2022 paper now. But I'm sorry, we're not going to be doing it tonight because I've not looked at the paper. I know it reached my inbox. I saw it earlier, but to say that I have looked at it, I have not. Now, persons want to talk about, I just settling, we're waiting on everybody to come in, and then we're going to kick it off. Remember to call your teachers because I'm going to need help. I'm going to need help. And if they want to share my screen, once they have StreamYard, I'll be able to share my screen. So I need help. So wherever you are in the Caribbean, ask your teacher to join. I am going to need help to go through this tonight. I want to sleep, so with help, it's going to be better. Think I did my best. All right. So persons are panicking. Persons have been asking me since day. We have one student who gave us one question. And with the one question, we tend to have plenty questions from the paper. So we are going to be looking a little bit at the paper that was. A little bit at the paper that was. Based on what students would have shared with me. Many students. I would have seen hundreds of students. And everybody, I don't know if they plan. Students can be so smart. But I would have heard some things. So tell you what, the 2022 HB questions as is supplied by students. Question number one, repeat question. Item one refers to the following aquatic food chain: phytoplankton, zooplankton, fish, water bird. The producer in the food chain is A, fish, B, water bird, C, zooplankton, D, phytoplankton. That's from the exam today. What's your answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? That's from the human and social biology exam. I don't have a paper that I can put up. So forgive me for those persons who are looking for a paper. I don't have a paper of the exam. I have some questions from many students of the exam. Of course, the answer is going to be D because it's a repeated question. All right, question number two, and biology students, you can partake. These are bio questions. Which of the following cell organelles allow substances to pass in and out of the cell? A, nucleus, B, vacuole, C, cytoplasm, D, cell membrane. What is your answer? These questions were supplied by students. Question number two, what's your answer? Remember our that is the easiest question on the paper, so you cannot afford not to do it. Remember how we answer question or convention. You are going to say which number question you're answering because sometimes we are logging. You are going to say the option that you have selected, and it would be nice if you say which island you are from. Right? Tonight I really wanted to do schools, but I realized I don't know the Caribbean. So if you say which school you went, you attend, I wouldn't be able to say. So probably we have to keep it at island, and probably if you're in Jamaica and you want to say school, that would be good. All right. So please, the number question you're answering, what's your option, and which island you're from, or if you are in Jamaica and you want to say which school other than Jamaica, you're free to do so. So there we have, well, that is not the way that we're saying. We said that you're supposed to say the number question, your option, and which island you're from. All right, let us see if we can get it right on this trial. All right, number 3 is going to be, the answer for number 2 is going to be cell membrane. Number 3, which of the following is an example of a terrestrial food chain? Is it A, seaweed, fish, seagull, B, pondweed, tadpole fish, C, plant, grasshopper, birds, D, pondweed, tadpole, duck? Now, the persons who are doing biology in grade 10, I think you'd want to see this paper because I'm sure some of these easy questions will be coming your way on the. All right, great. So we are doing it good now. So we're seeing Barbados there. I like to put them up. Barbados came up first. So that's how we do it here. What happened? Barbados. Let me remove this on the screen. All right, so like Barbados answer just now. Why not seeing the question? Because I don't have the paper. I just have some questions that were supplied by some students. Is that Barbados on the screen? It's not Barbados. What's it? What young one? Which Caribbean island is that? I'm seeing this, and that's how I realize that it's not Barbados. Just remind me if I did not say the right thing. Oh, that's St. Vincent. Okay, I'm so sorry. So that was St. Vincent. All right, great. All right, so just we're just going to 10 questions or no more than 15 of the questions that were supplied for the exam that the guys did in HSP. That's what we're doing. We don't have the paper, so we cannot show you a paper that we don't have. Number 4, an example of diffusion is the movement of A, sodium across the cell membrane, B, glucose from the digestive tract to the villus, C, oxygen from the alveoli to the capillary, and D, sucrose from phloem tubes to companion cell. What's your answer for question number 4? I don't know, but I was told. All right, awesome. Where the answer is on the screen. All right, this was another repeated question. It says the site of photosynthesis in plant is A, chloroplast, B, stomata, C, stem, D, root. What is your answer for question number 5? The student who did the exam today, it's time for you to go panicking. I didn't get that right. I wrote the wrong thing. It's already gone. It's already gone. Don't worry yourself too much. We're not going to put you through it all again. All right. Trinidad, that is how we don't want you to answer. All right. We want to know which question you're answering. Forgive me here. I still have to take my calls. All right. So 5 is A. It's going to be the chloroplast. And number 6, they said, which of the following vitamins can be produced by the skin as well as obtained by food? Is it vitamin A? Is it vitamin B? Is it vitamin C? Or is it vitamin E? The answer for question number 6. It's going to be D from the Jamaicans, and I am seeing St. Vincent. I'm seeing Guyana, Jamaica. A couple of persons would have stepped forward to answer that one. Question number 7. Which of the following reagents gives a positive test for the main food present in a slice of baked? Is it A, burette? Is it B, ethanol? Is it C, iodine solution? Or is it D, Benedict solution? What is your answer for question number 7? Question number 7. Question number 7, iodine solution, Jamaica. Just give me a second, guys. I am trying to reach my students. Just give me a little minute, a little bit. I'll be back with you in a shop. I'll be back with you in a bit. All right, so our answer there for 7. What's a popular answer? C is going to be. All right, so we move on to 8. Number 8, which of the following teeth aid in grinding food into smaller pieces? Is it A, incisor and premolar, B, molar and premolar, C, incisor and canine, D, canine and molar? What's your answer for number 8? All right, just give me a bit. Mm. All right, work done. All right, great. So it is 20. It is number 8. The answer there is going to be, let me see what we have here. All right, so 8B. Uh, you were in the exam and you were dancing and all that. All right, so 2 more to go. And then we are going to up on into the order of the day. That's the exam today. Persons are saying that they were dancing. Number 9, that was a diagram of the digestive system, which was repeated in the same way it was on all the past paper. Number 9, which sequence correctly matches each numbered structure to its function? and A was the gastric juice. They had labeled 1 was the liver, 2 was the stomach, and 3 the small intestine. So A, they are asking if 1 was actually, if gastric juice came from 1, 2, if bile came from 2, and if absorption took place in 3. At B, they are asking if gastric juice came from 1, if bile came from 3, and if, of course, absorption took place in 2. C, they are asking if gastric juice came from 2, if bile came from 1, if absorption took place in 3. D, it's asking if gastric juice came from 2, bile came from 3, and absorption in 1. What is your answer for question number 9? So question number 9, everybody is out of the block. Let us look at this. This one says stomach, liver, small intestine, and that, of course, is going to be C. All right, so if we don't want to see it like that, we could say that it is C. All right, so there's one more to go for the paper that they did today. So easy these questions are for the persons who are panicking for tomorrow. It's going to be a walk in the park. Remember to call your teachers on because I'm going to need some help. Which of the following statement is not true about the ileum? Now, A, it is richly supplied by blood capillaries. B, the walls secrete enzyme which are complete digestion. C, it contains, this was a new question, it contains hundreds of minute projection called microvilli. D, it has small surface area for the absorption of products of digestion. What was your answer for question number 10? Number 10, what was your answer? All right, so for number 10, your answer would have been, oh, whoa. Why so many persons got this wrong? I guess it's sir, but it is wrong. That's the answer. So it seems the Guyanese were prepared for that one. That's the answer there. All right, D. Remember what the question asked was a not. All the other 3 were true, but the villus does not have a small surface area. It has a large surface area, and this is enabled by the microvilli. All right, so those are the 10 questions that we said that we would have looked at based on what the students sent to us or gave to me. I would have asked you. But this for tonight, we are going to be starting off with the 28th paper. And like I like to say, you'll have to come out with your fast finger tonight because we have to go very fast because we're going to try the unthinkable. We're going to try to do 4 papers: 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. We are going to try. All right? If I fall asleep here, don't beat me up too bad. So let us set the paper. Let's clear the screen. All right, so for those persons who are seeing me for the first time, I am Mr. Wilson from Csec Biology TCP. You can find us online at Csec Biology TCP, that's on YouTube, or you may find us at tcp.com/. academy.teachable.com. We offer classes in biology, human and social biology, and we are pretty much changing the way things are done. You can choose to do a topic with us. You can choose to do a single lab. You can choose to do all lab with us. We are allowing persons to choose what they learn with their money and their time. All our classes starts at 6 p.m. EST. We have classes on weekends. We have classes after 6 every day. So I'm sure that we have a class that would pretty much match your need. All right, so we are going to be doing our best. I'm just trying to find the best thing here to share with you. I don't think that was the one we used last night. All right, we used that one. All right, so pretty much that's it. So if you want to sign up with us for January or June exam, all you need to do is to WhatsApp us. That's the number on screen. We take payment. PayPal collect money for us. Western Union collects money for us. There's also money transfer. And the one I ate the most, cashing on, we do that as well. But would prefer for you to pay via PayPal, Western Union, or bank transfer rather than giving us the money. We want the paper. All right. So that said, we are going to be upping on into the 2018 question. And please be mindful, I am doing my best with the resource that I have available. Here we go. Question number 1. Which of the following feature is not used to classify a group of organisms as class insect? Is it A, size, B, shape, C, color, or D, number of segments? What's your answer for the 2018 question number 1? It's by your time. Let's do it. I'm not too sure what's happening, but the bio students are doing it slow. Remember the naming convention. We're going to be using this naming convention on screen. Please don't just answer like that, or as you might not get your answer on the screen. All right, which of the following sampling method is most suitable for estimating the density of mushroom in a garden? Is it A, quadrat, B, line transect, C, bell transect, or D, mark, release, slash recapture? What's your answer for question number 2 of the 2018 paper? My students, it seems as if we are going slow. Not too sure what's happening. We're looking at number 2. All right, awesome. You still can put your stuff in, even if we put it on the screen, you still can put it there. All right. So we move on to number 3. Remember, we want to do a lot, so we're going to be going very fast. Listening carefully. Living organisms such as plants, are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following option lists some of these determining factor? Is it A, sediment size, shape, and color? Is it B, sunlight availability, soil pH, mineral? Or is it C, parasitism, commensalism, mutualism? D, deforestation, slash and burn, and of course, shifting cultivation. What's your answer for question number 3? Number 3, answer on screen. Number 4, item 45 refers to the following food web, and you're seeing it there. This is, of course, oh, this is not a controversy one. How many food chains are there in the food web shown above? This is going to be very easy. Is it A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, and of course, D, 5? What's your answer there? Number 4, question number 4 from the 2018 paper. What's your answer? I'm having some problem here. Okay, great. All right, I did put that on screen. All right, great. So the answer is on the screen. So our next question will be 5. Which of the following statement describe a relationship where the ocelot eats an iguana? Oh, this is the one that I have problem. All right, which of the following statement describe a relationship where the ocelot eats an iguana and the iguana eats a plant? So the ocelot is eating an iguana and that iguana is eating a plant. Is it A, both the iguana and ocelots are prey? Is it B, both ocelot and the iguana are predators? Is it C, the ocelot is a predator while the iguana is a prey? Is it D, the ocelot is a prey while the iguana is a predator? What is your answer for question number 5? I reserve my answer as, oh, I'm seeing C, I'm seeing B. I'm seeing C, I'm seeing B. Teachers in the room, we're going to have a discourse on this one. So both the ocelot and the iguana are predators. Some persons are saying that the ocelot is a predator while the iguana is a prey. So what about the relationship between the iguana and the plant? How do we account for that? The relationship between the iguana and the plant. All right, so my take on it, and you don't have to write this on your exam. I'm just giving you my take on it. My take on it, it's going to be B. And let me tell you, what makes me decide B? Now, if the ocelot is eating the iguana, that is a clear predator-prey relationship. Now, if the iguana is eating the plant, now that is herbivory. Now, herbivory is also a type of predation. Herbivory is also a type of predation. So you can Google herbivory to find out if it is a type of predation and what would be the predator, what would have been the prey. So because of that fact, I know that herbivory is a type of predation. I would have selected 5 for my answer. Like I said, that's my answer. If you are driven to use C or any other answer, please feel free to do so. But I would have given you my explanation. You can add yours to it. So B it is for me. All right, great. So we are moving on to question 6, trophic level. Trophic level, we're going to be looking at this year. Awesome diagram it is. Remember why just now we were talking about the phytoplankton? It's a 2018 paper. All right. Trophic level 1 is represented by which of the organism? Is it the phytoplankton, zooplankton, marine mammals, small fish, or crustaceans? What is your answer for 6? A, B, C, or D? You would have realized I gave you the same food web a while ago, or a similar food web for the HSB. All right, so remember our naming convention. So number 6 there is going to be A, the phytoplankton. And we move on to question number 7. Approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available at to the next organism in a food chain because A, most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. B, most of the energy is lost during the process of excretion. C, there are fewer consumer than producer in a food chain. Many consumer compete for the same food source. What is your answer for question number 7? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question number 8. Which of the following material is considered to be non-biodegradable? This was the last question on the human and social biology paper today. Last question. Why? Because ecology is on the back of the HSB syllabus and it is on the front of the bio syllabus. So which of these would be biodegradable? And this is a, oh yeah, biodegradable. Is it A? Sorry, which is non-biodegradable? A, grass cutting. B, sardine can. C, newspaper. Or D, clothes. Which is non-biodegradable? Question number 8. Question number 8. Question number 9, it will be, which of the following statements best explain why coral reefs in the Caribbean are at risk? This could be a controversial one, but most persons are going for the same thing. A, there has been overfishing of the seas. B, the Caribbean is a popular tourist destination. C, there have been many hurricanes in the Caribbean. D, there has been an increase in the volume of sewage flowing into the reefs. What's your answer for question number 9? So we are seeing B and we are seeing D. We're seeing B and we are seeing D. The popular answer is B. Many tourists arriving. My original answer was D, because as we build out and become more civilized and put up these skyscrapers, then we are pretty much having sewage being released, treated and released, or otherwise. So I think that whether the tourist is here or not, sewage is being released in the sea, treated or otherwise. However, when the tourist gets here, more enters the sea because naturally we have more persons. So this is a question that I am torn with. I really like D. There has been an increase in the volume of sewage flowing into the reefs. I really like that. But like I said, the popular answer is, of course, B. The Caribbean is a popular tourist destination. I will not tell you which one to choose. I will not say A or B or C. I gave you both. You can have that discussion with your teacher. That's question number 9. Number 10. Replanting trees on a bare hillside is an example of A, reforestation and preservation, B, preservation and conservation, C, reforestation and restoration, and D, conservation and afforestation. What's your answer for A? Sorry, what's your answer for number 10? So number 10 coming in nicely there. Why am I seeing different answers for number 10? Nothing is wrong with 10 that we should have different answers. All right. Afforestation is the planting of trees in an area where there was no tree before. Reforestation is planting trees in an area where there was tree before. So our answer here is C for number 11. Trying to change my slide, not too sure what's happening. All right. Oh, wow. One too many. All right. 11. Look at this curve, which should indicate the sigmoid growth curve or the S curve. Phase 4 of a graph of population growth is most likely due to A, disease resistance, B, high natural birth rate, C, adequate food and space, D, competition and invasive species. What we know is that it is caused from an environmental resistance. What's your answer there for question number 11? number 11. So your answer is on screen for number 11. Not too sure. It's going like really, really slow. Oh, which Caribbean island is this? Which Caribbean island is on the screen? Forgive me, I don't know the flags. So your answer is going to be D for number 11. Number 12. When compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contains more A, vacuoles, B, ribosome, C, mitochondria, D, chromosome. What's your answer for number 12? The flags are coming out. Nicely so. So C for number 12. Item 13 refers to the following diagram, which shows a process by which substances are moved into and out of cells. Great. Now, looking at what's happening here, number 13, which of the following option correctly identifies and describes the process occurring above? Is it A, the process is diffusion, description, water move from concentrated to dilute solution? Is it B, diffusion, the process is description, sugar moves from dilute to concentrated solution? Or is it C, osmosis, water moves from dilute to concentrated solution? Or is it D, osmosis, the process, sugar moves from concentrated solution to dilute solution? What's your answer for question number 30? Jamilia, we don't know which island you're from. All right, 13 there being C. 14. Which of the following function is not correctly matched to the organelle? A, function, osmotic control, organelle, membrane. B, protein synthesis, function, organelle, chloroplast. C, function, heredity material, organelle, nucleus. D, release of energy, function, organelle, mitochondria. Mitochondria. 14. What's your answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? Answer is on screen. Number 15. A mature plant cell is different from a mature animal cell because a plant cell has A, mitochondria, B, a cell membrane, C, a large permanent vacuole, D, a nucleus suspended in the cytoplasm. What's your answer for question 15? A, B, C, or D? All right, great. So we move on. Your answer is on screen. It's going to be C. So we move on to question number 16. Which of the following graph shows the effect of temperature on an enzyme controlled reaction? Is it A, B, C, or is it D? What is your answer for question number 16? What's your answer for question number 16? The answer is on screen. The answer is D. Number 17. An enzyme is best defined as a catalyst which A. Increase the rate of chemical reaction. B. Decreases the rate of chemical reaction. C. Increases the rate of chemical reaction but remain unchanged at the end of the reaction. D. Decreases the rate of chemical reaction but remains unchanged at the end of a reaction. What's your answer for question number 17? Answer is on screen. Answer is C. Number 18. Which of the following feature does not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? A. Numerous chloroplasts in the palisade mesophyll. B. Presence of a vascular bundle. C. Transparent cuticle. D. Large surface area. What's your answer for 18? Answer is on screen. Answer there is B. Number 19. Refers to the following diagram, which represents a metabolic process occurring in plants. You're seeing it on screen. Allow me to show you on screen. All right, there we are. Now, the food nutrient produced is A, fat, B, glucose, C, protein, D, amino acid. What's your answer for number 19? Number 19, your answer is B. And we move on to question number 20. Let's just clear the screen. I hope I don't have anybody watching in the back. So it's a little bother if you're asking or saying something. If you're saying something and I didn't see it, just please say it again. All right. When we get to the end of this, we will listen. Or 30 there about. When we reach 30, I'll talk. All right, 20. Which of the following organism is a saprophyte? Is it a cat? Is it A, cat, B, amoeba, C, mango tree, D, bread mold? That's for 20. What's your answer for 20? Answers on screen. D. 21. Now you're seeing the diagram on your screen. Now for this one, 21, which of the following statement best accounts for the shape of a graph of light intensity versus the rate of photosynthesis? A, as the rate of photosynthesis increases, there is a decrease in carbon dioxide level. As the light intensity increases for B, the rate of photosynthesis also increases until a stationary phase exists when denaturation of the enzymes occur. C, as light intensity increases, there is an increase in the rate of photosynthesis until there is no further increase in the rate due to some limiting factor. D, as carbon dioxide levels gradually increase, there is a similar increase in the rate of photosynthesis until a plateau phase exists, where no further increase in carbon dioxide results in any further increase in photosynthesis. What's your answer for 21? Answer is on screen. Your answer is C. So we'll move on to 22. You're seeing the diagram on screen. Item 22 refers to the following diagram of the respiratory system showing structures in the respiratory system. Now, which of a labeled part represents a rib? What's your answer for 22? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? 22, what's your answer? Answer is on screen. 22, your answer there is B. 23, which of the following condition is an effect of the nicotine found in cigarette smoke? Increases heart rate, or increased heart rate for A. B, increased beating of cilia. C, reduce oxygen transport by the blood. D, increase mucus production in the cell lining the respiratory passage. What's your answer for 23? Increase heart rate. Your answer is on the screen. And we move on to 24. So for 24, the steps listed below are involved in the clotting of blood. Oh, wow. This question was on the HSB paper today. 1, fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. It was more complex. It was the entire system on the HSB paper today. 2, blood cells are trapped. 3, platelets are activated. 4, blood vessels are damaged. Which of the following sequence is the correct order for the steps? Is it A, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, 1, C, 3, 4, 1, 2, D, 4, 3, 1, 2? What is your answer for 24? The Trinidadians have it. It's going to be D. 26. Which of the following options correctly matches the gaseous exchange structures with the organisms? With the organism. A, human trachea, fish mouth, plant stems. B, alveoli to human, gill filament to fish, large leaf to plant. C, alveoli to human, gill rack to fish, young leaf to plant. D, trachea to human, gill bar to fish, sponge mesophyll to plant. What is your answer for question 26? Question 26, the answer is on screen. 27, why is it difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? Is it A, vaccine cannot be developed for virus? B, the antigen on the common cold virus remains the same? C, the antigen on the common cold virus change frequently? D, human beings cannot produce antibodies for the common cold. What's your answer for 27? 27. All right, 27 there. The Jamaicans have it for C. 28. Which of the following option best identify some of the transport substances in animals? Is it A, amino acid? Sorry, is it 1 amino acid, 2 hormones, 3 sucrose? What's your option? Is it A, 1 and 2 only? B, 1 and 3 only? C, 2 and 3 only? D, 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'm going to get you something. All right, so what's your answer there for 28? 28. It's going a little slow. So 28 there is going to be A, amino acid and come down. Come down. Amino acid and hormone. 29. That's where we're going now. Let's clear the screen. And I don't do that. Don't do that. All right, 29. An amoeba obtains all the oxygen it needs by diffusion via its cell membrane, while human needs to have a special respiratory surface for this purpose. The best reason for this difference is that A, the amoeba does not require much oxygen. B, oxygen cannot pass through the skin of a human. C, human requires a large volume of oxygen. D, a human's surface area to volume ratio is too small for diffusion to be effective. What's your answer for 29? Answer on screen, B. 30. Translocation of sucrose, don't do that. Translocation of sucrose in plant occurs via specialized vessels, which A, are dead neurocells, B, are abundant in mitochondria, C, contains C pores in their end walls, D, are thin hollow tubes of lignin. What's your answer for 30? Some person's finger like really, really fast. All right, 31. Under which condition will the rate of transpiration in plants be highest? A, sunny and low wind speed. B, sunny and high wind speed. C, cloud and low wind speed. D, cloudy and high wind speed. What's your answer for 31? Answer on screen, the answer there is B. 32. Persons who suffer from kidney disease are most likely to have a decreased concentration of glucose in their blood, an increased concentration of glucose in the blood. C, a decreased concentration of urea in the blood. D, an increased concentration of urea in the blood. What's your answer for 32? Anna, why are you so rude? You want to tell me? What? How did we get D? A person who suffers from kidney disease are most likely to have an increased concentration of urea in the blood, an increased concentration of glucose. Why are you doing that? Yes, it's the 2018 paper. All right, what's the function of the kidney here? Daddy. Why are we having different answers? B and D, why are we having different answers? All right, you want to come down now? What's your phone? What's your answer? Come down for me. All right. I'm sorry, I can't zoom in. You would have to zoom in. I think the kids usually tell us how to zoom in. I don't know how. I don't know, could be wrong. I'm answering based on memory. D because it's a kidney. I think it is, let me, no, it's all right. Why? Just stay there, no, man. I'll deal with you in a bit. All right, so everybody stop answering. What's the answer? You can't see it? 32, I'll read it again. A person suffering from kidney disease. Kidney? So now your question should be, what is the function of the kidney? So the person is suffering from kidney disease. They are most likely to have a decreased concentration of glucose in the blood. Is that the role of a kidney? B, an increased concentration of glucose in the blood. Or is it C, a decreased concentration of urea in the blood? Or is it D, an increased concentration of urea in the blood? All right. D, because the kidney is malfunctioning. B, C, the kidney deals with excretion. I am seeing C. I am seeing B. I am seeing B. Your kidneys remove waste and excreta fluid from your body. But the kidney, it's not the function of the kidney to actually deal with the glucose and the sugar. That would have been the pancreas and the insulin, right? Or the liver, not so much a kidney. The kidney would be regulating water, right? And pretty much removing urea from the body. So in this particular question, we have to pay attention to the waste or the function of the kidney. So we are going to go with D. We're going to be going with D. All right, we're going to be going with D for 32. All right, if you have anything else you want us to discuss that we overlooked, let us know. 33. Locomotion is important to animal for 1, avoiding predators, 2, acquiring food and shelter, 3, reabsorption. Reproduction. What's your answer? Is it A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, D, 1, 2, 3. What is your answer there for item 33? Item 33, what's your answer? So for item 33, your answer is, of course, D. So we move on to item 34. You're seeing the diagram on screen. Which of the labeled part is responsible for the production of male gametes? Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4? What's your answer there for question 34? Daddy? Yes? All right, answer on screen for 34, it's going to be B. Item 35. The best description for the role of excretion in living organisms is to A, produce urine, B, produce feces, C, get rid of toxic waste, D, get rid of excess water. What's your answer for 35? Yes. All right, so 35C. We're going to be moving on, but I'm just going to ask you for a little time as Anna is saying that I am hungry. I have to get him some food and then I'll be back in a bit. But I'll leave a question online, and in the meantime, you can have healthy conversation with each other. All right? So just give me a minute. I'll tell you what, in the meantime, I could introduce you to something. All right, just give me 1 second before I go. So you could fetch yourself some water, you could stretch or anything like that to make sure that you are ready to go the long mile. All right? All right, so this is a short video and I'm going to be sharing it with you in the comment. Those are some books that we write here at TCP. So you can look at those books. They are lab books and they're available on Amazon. So just click the link while I'm away and you will see the books. So 1 minute. Calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Come, let's make it. Let's come, come. All right, come. Wow. So I am back. I am sorry about it being blurry. There's not much that I can do. I think it's the resource or the type of computer that I'm using. It does not have, I don't know, the technical guys can tell you the type of whatever specs to push the type of video that you love to see. I am really, really sorry. I do hope though that you can assist us by sponsoring. You can do that through either of these links. You can use that link on screen. You can send us donation via PayPal, and the link is there. Or you can send us donation via Western Union. If you want to talk more about it, you can send us a WhatsApp there so we can talk about it. You wanted this button. I mean, go and get the button. You want it? All right. So the books are, you would have seen them. So this is the chemistry lab book, and it comes with a periodic table and a reactivity series and so on. Integrated science. So there they are. And this is, of course, the physics. I know you would have completed all this already, but if you get those videos on your status, then you get these books out there as household name. They are doing very, very well, and I think I want to get them right across the Caribbean. So what better place than to have this conversation with our learners? All right, so we continue. I'm not sure what's happening now. Let me get that off. All right, so we are back. All right, so I was saying, yes, we do accept donation. Not that donation is something that we are seeing over here. We really don't get sponsored. We're not sponsored. We don't get donation, anything like that. So we have to just talk it out the way we can. But who knows? We could have some changes to that. And like I said, it's very easy. You have a credit card, you have a debit card, PayPal. Send the cash by PayPal, we'll get it. Or if you prefer to go to Western Union, send it via Western Union, we will get it. And if you want to talk to us, you think you're going to be sending probably too little, and you want to know how much we want, how much would be nice to assist us in getting out of our curve, you can WhatsApp us at that number, and we will have a discussion with you. All right, so that out of the way, we can continue. All right, great. So let us continue the exploit here at 36. So item 36, the role of an effector is to A, detect a stimulus, B, respond to a stimulus, C, create a nerve impulse, D, relay a nerve impulse. What's your answer for 36? 36 is going to be B. All right, great. So we move on to 37. Which of the following diagram shows the correct direction in which a nerve impulse passes through a reflex arc? Is it A, B, C, or D for 37? If you have not yet, please be reminded to like, share, and of course, subscribe. You want to share the link with as many of your classmates as possible so that everybody will be acing the exam tomorrow. So our answer here is going to be A, the Trinidadians, the Jamaicans, the Bahamians, the Guyanese, they all are correct. All right, 38. Which of the following phrases correctly describes trophic movement in plants? Is it a trophic movement? This question is a very tricky question. Trophic movement. No, trophic, not movement, but this time trophic movement. A, irreversible whole or part movement. B, reversible whole or part movement. C, irreversible growth or part movement. D, reversible growth or part movement. What's your answer for 38? 38. What's your answer for 38? What's your answer for 38? I'm trying to clear the screen, but it's logging. So for 38, what's your answer? All right, it's going to be, of course, as the Bahamian have it here, it's going to be C. Now, please pay attention. It is not movement. Remember, there are three rules to tropism and Gnostic movement. Let me share the rules with you so that when you see this question, you know how to answer it. This question is around Gnostic movement and trophic movement. The three rules. For trophic movement, it is a growth movement, it is irreversible, and it is directional. For Gnostic movement, it is a non-growth movement, it is reversible, and it is non-directional. So while growth movement is directional, Gnostic movement is non-directional. And when we talk about Gnostic movement, there are many. The common ones are those where you're seeing the leaf opening and closing, like the mimosa plant. When you touch the leaf, you see it close, or the Venus flytrap. Those are common examples of Gnostic. So don't make the mistake when you see this question. In some cases, they are asking you about movement, not just Gnostic. So we're moving on to 39. 39. Yes, it is a 2018 paper. I know we're trying to clear the screen, but oh, all right, great. So we move on now. Great. 2018. We're doing well. We want to get out of this so that we can get to the other paper. All right, 39. Which of the following option best describes the term stimulus and response? A. Stimulus, a deliberate provocation of an organism. Response, the movement of an organism. B, an organism's exposure to sunlight. Response, the growth of an organism away from light. C, a wave of excitement in an organism. Response, locomotion of an organism. D, stimulus, a detectable change in an organism's environment. Response, an organism's reaction to the stimulus, to a stimulus. What's your answer for 39? Answer is on screen. Answer is B. Now you're seeing these two diagrams. Item 40 refers to the following diagrams showing the eye's response to a stimulus. So before, the pupil was really wide. Afterwards, the pupil was small. The response is most likely brought about by A, an increase in the light intensity, B, a decrease in the light intensity, C, an object being brought near, or D, an object being moved further away. What's your answer for question 40? Answer there is A. Now, this is another interesting question. Really, really interesting question. I don't think it's controversial. I think it's a matter of interpretation. Item 41 refers to the following diagram. Now, look carefully at the diagram. One to me indicates, I need to get that off the screen. All right, great. There it is. All right, so one to me, what it indicates. To me, I think it's a receptor. Now, number two, What is number 2? Is it the sensory neuron? Is it the relay nerves, intermediate nerves, spinal nerves? This is probably the easier one. And what is 3? Is it the effector or is it the muscle? Which it is. So will your answer be A, 1 receptor, 2 relay nerve, 3 effector, B, skin, 2 intermediate nerve, 3 muscle, C, sensory nerves, 2 spinal nerve, 3 effector? Will it be D, receptor, 1, 2 spinal nerves, 3 effector? What is your answer for 41? Answer on screen. The answer there is D. D, D as in duck, 41. And we move on to item 42. Let's clear up the screen. All right, 42 it is. 42, the function of a choroid layer in the eye is to A, focus most light rays, B, prevent internal reflection, C, maintain the shape of an eyeball, D, control the amount of light entering the eye. What's your answer for the choroid for 42? Is it A, B, C, or D? Sorry. 42, that's not the answer. 42 is going to be B. 42 is going to be B. C is going to be the sclera. All right, but B is going to be the answer for 42. Let us look at item 43. Item 43 refers to the following graph, which illustrates a measurement of growth in living organism and its curve. Now, which of the following is an incorrect label for the y-axis? Now, remember, when we are dealing with graphs, the independent variable goes on the x-axis and the dependent variable goes on the y-axis. If we are using a table, usually the independent variable is in the first column of a table, usually. So here, A, length, B, mass, C, number of leaves, and D, unit of time. Remember, we are looking at a graph that pretty much is illustrating the growth of living things. What's your answer for 43? Answer is on screen. D for 43. 44. Item 44 refers to the following activities involved in the menstrual cycle. 1. Repair of uterine lining. 2. Ovulation. 3. Shedding of the uterus lining. 4. Development of a Graafian follicle. What's your answer for this question? I'm sure this is not right. All right, let me clear the screen and show you. All right, so look carefully. Make sure you're looking at it carefully. Yes, I agree with that. This is just yes. So what's your answer there for 42? Look at it carefully. All right, that's the answer C. And it's like we're looking at those three graphs at the same time. We're looking at what is happening with the uterus lining, and at the same time, we're looking at what is happening with the within the ovary. We're looking at both at the same time. All right, so great. See this 44C. Let's move on to 45. The following statement describes the process taking place within a seed during germination. Look at this one carefully. One, embryo uses food to develop radicle and plumule. Two, enzymes break down protein into amino acid. Three, soluble products move into the embryo. Which of the following sequence is the correct order of a process? Which of the following sequence is the correct order of a process? What's your answer for 45? D is the answer that I have. 46. The production of new organism from one parent only is known as A. Sexual reproduction, B. Asexual reproduction, C. Mitosis, D. Meiosis. What's your answer for 46? 46. 46 is going to be B. 47. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely to be 100% effective? A. Condom. B. Diaphragm. C. Tubal ligation. D. Birth control pill. 47. What is your answer? C is your answer. Answer is on screen. 48. A vector is defined as an organism that A. bites humans, B. causes disease, C. lives on other organisms, D. transmit disease organism. What is your answer for 48? Answer on screen. Your answer there is D. And we move on to item 49. 49, I will clear the screen. All right, great. So we are at 49. Item 49 refers to the following diagram of flowers from two different types of plants. Which of the following statement is true for the flowers? A, I is pollinated by hummingbird. 2 is pollinated by wind. B, both are pollinated by hummingbird. C, petals are absent from both 1 and 2. D, both are wind pollinated. What is your answer for 49? Answer is on screen. 49 is going to be A. 50. A 60-year-old man has been diagnosed with hypertension as well as diabetes. Which of the following treatment would be most effective for the disease? A. Exercising and lowering the intake of salts and refined carbohydrate. B. Spending more time watching television to relax. C. Starting a rigorous exercise program. D. Taking insulin injection. What advice would you give to this gentleman? A, B, or C? 50. What's your answer? Answer is on screen. A for 50. Let us look at 51. Which of the following best describes a chromosome? A, two forms of the same genes. B, structure made up of DNA wrapped around histones. C, nucleic acid that contains all genetic information. D, part of the DNA which carries genetic information to produce a protein. What's your answer for 51? $51 is going to be B. Answer on screen. 52. As a result of mitosis, each daughter cell has a variable number of chromosomes, B, twice the number of chromosomes as a parent cell, C, the same number of chromosomes as parent cell, D, half the number of chromosomes as parent cell. What's your answer for 52? A, B, C, or D? 52, Trinidadians have it. 52 is going to be C. 53, which of the following process will result in genetically identical offspring? A, cloning. B, mutation. C, fertilization. D, crossing over. What's your answer for 53? Is it A, B, C, or D? What happened? I clicked on the Barbadian. All right, so answer there for 53 is A. 54. A man with blood group A married a woman with blood group B. They had two children, each with blood group AB. The alleles A and B are described as being A, homozygous, B, codominant, C, recessive, D, dominant. What is your answer for 54? 54, the answer is on screen. The answer there is codominant. We move on to the final set of questions. We start here at 55. So 55, variation in a population is due to mutation, crossing over, asexual reproduction. Is it A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, D, 1, 2, and 3? What's your answer for 55? What's happening? Okay. So 55 is of course going to be A. 56. Which of the following feature is not a characteristic of meiosis? Is it A, maintenance of a diploid number? Is it B, genetic recombination of alleles? Is it C, crossing over of chromosomes? Is it D, random assortment of genes? What is your answer for 56? 56. I don't know. My system seems to be active. All right, 56 it is. 56 answers A. 57. Tarzan and Jane, both of whom are heterozygous for the blood group A and B, respectively, can have offspring that are likely to be A, 100% AB, B, 50% A, 50% AB, C, 25% AB, 50% B, 25% O. D, 25% A, 25% B, 25% AB, 25% O. What's your answer for 57? 57? I'm not sure what's happening. All right, there we go, 57. All right, so we move on to 58. So 58, which of the following description is true about natural and artificial selection? So A, we have natural selection first, then we have artificial selection. A occurs in domestic population, occurs in natural population. B involves genetic modification, largely controlled by the environment. C produces great biological diversity, produces very different organism from natural population. D is a faster process, is a slower process. What's your answer? A, B, C, or D? Answer for 58. All right, there we have it. Please be reminded to like, share, and subscribe. That's the probably least you could do, to subscribe to show your gratitude. All right, 59, a species best defined as a group of organisms that A, can interbreed and produce fertile offspring, B, can interbreed and produce many offspring, C, are physically similar, D, cannot interbreed. What's your answer for 59? Answer on screen. A is your answer. Moving on. Question number 60. I think in 2018, both papers ended the same way. The very same question was used to end biology, That's the question that they'd use to end HSB. All right, so we're going to be clearing the screen again so that you can see that. All right, so many persons are already saying that 60 is D. So we're looking there at a genetic engineering diagram. It's a diagram in your textbook. From time to time, you might see this as being worded, or you might see it in this diagram here. In which of the stages above can insulin be produced by the bacterium? Is it 1? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? What's your answer for question number 60? It's going to be E. That takes us to the end of the 2018 paper. We would have done 1 hour and 43 minutes. For the sake of those persons who are going to be watching the video again, I am going to be logging off, creating a new live, and I'll come back. And when I'm back, I'm going to be doing the, oh, wow, I probably can't do that. If I do that, then I have to reset the entire system and it will take some time. So I can't go away. I have to stay. Unfortunately, I loaded everything onto the system. So if I go, you won't be able to see. So tell you what, 1 hour 43 minutes. I want you to go get yourself some water, wash your face, stretch to the left, stretch to the right, come back with your pen, come back with your pencils. But before you go, make sure that you subscribe. Before you go, make sure that you subscribe. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to come back. All right. So since we started the show this evening, nobody has subscribed. Based on YouTube, YouTube is saying since we've been doing this live since evening, with how much 1,000 persons, no one has saw. I've seen it. Important to subscribe. So we are just reminding you. We appreciate when you subscribe, and when you subscribe, the videos will be pushed to other persons. So we have about 3,000 persons watching now. All right. I realize that person would have subscribed now, but out of 3,000 persons, we should be able to get 100 persons to subscribe. It's free, you know. Click the button to say subscribe. I don't think that is much. All right. So try clicking that button and select all, because we're going to be having result court. We're going to be looking at the paper probably tomorrow evening. Based on what the students will share with me, we're going to be looking at that. All right, so please be reminded to like, share, and of course, subscribe. And it's not too late to call your friend. We did the 2018 paper just now. We are going to be moving on to the 2019 paper. So 2018 is now in the bag, and now we look at 2019. I will set your screen now for 2019. All right, that must be the 2019. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. If I am not answering to your call, forgive me. I am alone. There's nobody watching at the back end. So if I make a mistake and you don't tell me, then I won't even see. All right, there is nothing that I can do to what you're seeing on the screen. We are just using what we have to share with you. Might I also say last year while we were online, we didn't even have this to show anything. I was reading from a piece of paper and students were answering. They didn't even have a blur diagram to look at. And you know what? Exceptionally well in the exam. All right? So let us just try to work with what we have until we have some sponsor who can help us to help you. I am pretty much helping you out of the love of my heart because this is not a paid venture. All right? So we move on. We are waiting. We have 2 more minutes to get going, and we are going to be looking at the 2019 paper with a view in mind to take it up to the 2020 paper. And if we can't do the 2021 paper tonight, 5 o'clock EST, 5 a.m. EST, that's tomorrow morning, we will do the 2021. So if we can't do all three papers, I want to do the 2021 paper. I did 2021 with the kids at work today, and I think that doing these 4 papers is going to be key because you would have done some papers on your own already, and there are some persons who did nothing at all. So I am trying to assist those persons as well. All right, just a minute to go. So if you're hearing, it's time to get back to the computer. The thing is here loaded. We are now going to be doing the 2019, after which we are going to do the 2020, and we will save the 2021. For those persons, Miss White students, I am going to suggest to you that you make it early to school tomorrow so that we can do 4 or 5 papers for the day before the exam. I'm giving you all that we've got so that no one can complain that, wow, I was not able to do it because I was not assisted. All right, we're giving you all that we have. All right, so it's time to go. We are ready to go again. Sir, do you have 2022 January? Yeah, we got it today. We got it today. But if you have past papers and you want to share with us, we are very, very grateful. We need paper 3 papers to assist those persons. So if persons have access to the new HSB paper 3 and can send it to us, please send it to this email address. I'm going to put the email address on the screen. So if you want to send us past paper, please email them to that email address. We need paper 3s, we need paper 3s, we need paper 3s. Whatever past paper you have, whether we have it or not, when you send it, we will check it. And if we have it, then we still say thanks, but we put it to what we have so that when we are helping, we can help. All right. We have 2020 paper, but it's not the prettiest 2020 paper you're going to see. But if you have it, like I said, you can send whatever you have to that email address. The screen was just cleared but went back foggy. All right, so you have the email address. I do hope. I'm not too sure what's happening. I have no control. All right, so please be reminded to subscribe, like, share, and of course, subscribe. I want 100 subscribers tonight of the 3,000 persons that are watching. I'm asking just for 100 out of the 3,000 plus that are watching. All right, based on YouTube, we are somewhere close to 5,000 viewers at this time. In a matter of fact, we would have pushed 23,000 viewers since night. That's the amount of person we are sharing with based on YouTube. All right, so we are ready to go. Let's go. All right, I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm ready to go. 1. Whichever following features, we're doing the 2019 paper, whichever following feature is used to classify a group of organisms as class insecta. Is it size, A, B, shape, C, color, or actually D, segments? What's your answer for question number 1? Answer is on screen. Number 2, which of the following option correctly defines a niche and a habitat? Niche, then habitat. Niche, the role that an organism play in the habitat in which it lives. Habitat, the place where the organism lives. B, the place where the organism lives. Habitat, the role that the organism plays in the habitat in which it lives. C, a community of living organisms where they share the environment. The habitat, the habitat, the abiotic and biotic factors of the ecosystem. D, the biotic factor of the ecosystem where an organism lives are the abiotic factor and the environment where the organism lives. For number 2, what's your answer? No, we can't afford to get number 2 wrong. All right, number 2, that's too easy for us to get that one wrong. All right, that is like textbook. That is, there's no thinking is required there. Which of the following relationship for number 3 may present harm to one organism involved? Is it 1, commensalism, 2, parasitism, 3, predation? What will you choose? A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, D, 1, 2, and 3. What's your answer for question number 3? Answer is on screen. Number 4, which of the following organisms are most important in biodegradation? Is it A, bacteria, B, vulture, C, omnivores, D, earthworm? What's your answer for number 4? Answer is on screen. Number 5, which of the organism in the secondary, which of the organism is a secondary consumer in the food chain shown above? The food chain above: algae, larvae, eel, pike. Options: A, eel, B, pike, C, algae, D, larvae. What's your answer for question number 5? Answer is on screen. Eel A. We move on to question number 6. All right, so we are at number 6. Let's take that off the screen. All right, great. So we're ready. Now, item 6 refers to the following diagram, which shows energy flow through an ecosystem. You're seeing the diagram there. The energy flow is not 100% efficient because energy is A, linear, moving from one organism to the next, B, circular, moving in and out of organism, C, recycled from plants, the atmosphere, D, loss through respiration and excretion. What's your answer? Question number 6. If you are answering and you are not seeing your answer on the screen, it suggests that you are not using the naming convention that we recommend. All right, so your answer there is going to be D for question 6, and it's answered by the Jamaican. All right, number 7. Which of the following statements about recycling manufactured material are true? 1, less energy is used in the manufacturing of new products by using the raw material from recycled products. 2, some manufactured products can be recycled. 3, recycling of some non-biodegradable material prevents landfill site from filling up too quickly and for a long time. What's your answer? A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, D, 1, 2, and 3. What's your answer? Number 7. The answer is on screen. Number 8. Replanting trees on a bare hillside is an example of A, restoration on a bare hillside. Restoration and preservation. Reforestation and restoration. C, conservation and afforestation. And of course, D, preservation and conservation. You are replanting, replanting. This becomes a little tricky now. This becomes a little tricky. Let me see what you have for question number 8. Question number 8, B. Yeah, I have B, but there is something wrong with this question. If you are replanting trees, then it should be reforestation. If you are planting somewhere where there was no tree, then it should be afforestation or afforestation. But I have B as the answer. It's probably the most suitable answer. Somebody can tell me here what's happening. All right, number 9. So we have B there for the answer for number 8. I think that something is wrong with the question. 9. Human activities would have the least immediate impact on A, the formation of fossil fuel, B, coral bleaching, C, overpopulation, D, eutrophication. What is your answer for question number 9? Question number 9, what's your answer? Jamaicans have it, 9A. We move on to question number 10. All right, so let's look at 10. The greatest threat to the survival of a coral reef is A, increased dissolved oxygen level, B, increased ocean temperature, C, decreased greenhouse gases, D, increased nitrogen level. What is the greatest threat to the coral reef? Is it A, B, C, or D? These are your answer, the Trinidadians. Number 11. Item 11 refers to the following graph of population growth. Following graph of population. We're seeing this question for the second time. So start telling me when you are seeing the question. Phase 4 of a graph of population growth is most likely due to A, competition from invasive species, B, adequate food and space, C, high natural birth rate, and D, disease resistance. What's your answer? Question number 11. Jamaicans have it. Number 12. When compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contains more A, vacuole, B, ribosomes, C, mitochondria, D, chromosomes. What is your answer? Question number 12. The Trinidadians have it. C is your answer there. Number 13, item 13 refers to the following diagram of a cell, and it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. as is seen on your screen, which of a label structure is responsible for controlling cellular activities? Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4? What is your answer for item 30? The Bahamians have it. Answer there, D. 14. Which of the following comparisons of you are not able to see it? All right, let's go again. Which of the following comparison of a cell wall and cell membrane is incorrect? Cell wall first, then cell membrane. A, found in both plant and animal cell. Found in animal cell only. That's a cell membrane. And cell wall, start with cell wall. So B, cell wall, freely permeable, cell membrane, differentially permeable. C, cell wall contains cellulose, cell membrane does not contain cellulose. D, cell wall found in plant cells only, cell membrane found in both plants and animal cell only. Which is incorrect. So your answer there for question number 14 is going to be number 14. It's going to be A. Number 15 refers to the following apparatus set up as shown below. Distilled water, potato, petri dish. What can be done to cause the level of solution in the petri dish to rise after 20 minutes? A, add 5 grams of sugar to the distilled water in both petri dish and potato. Add 5 grams of salt to the distilled water in the petri dish. Add 5 grams of salt to the distilled water in the petri dish. Add 5 grams of salt to the distilled water in the potato only. Add 5 grams of sugar to either the petri dish or the potato. What is it that we want to do? What can be done to cause the level of a solution in the petri dish to rise? Oh, it's in the petri dish. So what's your answer for 15? Is it A, B, C, or D? The answer is on screen. B. Item 16 refers to the following table, which shows the result of food tests performed on 3 food samples, X, Y, and Z. Food sample X, then the test and observation. X, violet color with sodium hydroxide and copper sulfate. Y, blue-black, where blue-black precipitate with iodine. Z, orange precipitate when heated with Benedict reagent after hydrolysis. Pay attention to that. A, X is non-reducing sugar, Y starch, Z is protein. B, X is protein, Y is reducing sugar, Z is starch. C, X is starch, Y is protein, Z is reducing sugar. D, X is protein, Y starch, Z is reducing sugar. What is your answer for question number 16. Please be reminded to subscribe. Please be reminded to subscribe and share. Please be reminded to subscribe and share. Give us some love as we're giving you some love. All right, 60 more subscribers to go. All right, so here we go. The answer here for 16 is going to be, Trinidadians have it, D. Let's move on. Number 17. Item 17 refers to the following diagram, which shows a xylem vessel. I don't know if you can see it. All right, great. The major features that is responsible for the rigid structure of a xylem vessel is the A, lignin, B, cell wall, C, space in the cell, D, gap where two cells meet. What's your answer for number 17? What's your answer for number 17? Come on, stop, please. Stop. Stop, alright. All right, number 17 there, being A, lignin. All right, we'll move on to number 18. Item 18 refers to the following diagram, which represents a metabolic process carried out in plants. Now, what's your answer? You're seeing the diagram. The food produced is A, fat, B, glucose, C, protein, D, amino acid. Number 18, what is your answer? A. You're getting them high? Yeah? All right, seems my screen is moving faster than I am moving. No. All right, great. So the product there is B, glucose. Moving on to 19. Item 19 refers to the following diagram. You're seeing the diagram. Which of the following statement best accounts for the shape of a graph? A, as photosynthesis rate increase, there is a decrease in carbon dioxide levels. B, as light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increases until a stationary phase exists when denaturation of the enzyme occurs. C, as light intensity increases, there is an increase in photosynthesis until there is no further increase in the rate due to some other limiting factor. D, as carbon dioxide levels gradually increase, there is a similar increase in the rate of photosynthesis until a plateau until a plateau phase exists where no further increase in carbon dioxide results in any further increase in photosynthesis. What is your answer? Forgive me. And it's his playing time now and he wants to play. 19. So he said, you're encroaching on my playing time. I want to play now that. Let's go play. All right, 19. What's your answer for 19? 19. Okay, so our answer there for 19 is going to be C. Eyes on screen C. So we move on to 20. A 50-year-old male is advised by his doctor to pay special attention to the amount of salt in his diet. He probably has a high chance of developing A, obesity, B, diabetes, C, hypertension, and D, cardiovascular disease. What's your answer for number 20? What's wrong? Answers on screen. Jamaicans have it. All right, so we're changing question now. So we're going to just flip the page. All right, so there we have it. Ready to go. All right, item 21 refers to the following diagram of a tooth. And you are seeing the tooth there. So we move on down. 21. Which option correctly identifies the structure labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4? A, 1 enamel, 2 dentine, 3 pulp, and 4 capillaries. B, enamel 1, 2 crown, 3 root, 4 nerves. C, crown, 2 enamel, 3 dentine, 4 pulp. D, 1 dentine, 2 enamel, 3 nerves, and 4 capillaries. What's your answer for 21? 21, what's your answer there for 21? What are you doing there? Huh? All right, 21 is A. All right, 21A. Item 22 refers to the following diagram of a respiratory system. It's labeled there 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to find out which of the labeled part represents a rib cage. Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? What's your answer for 22? $22 by Yemen's have it. All right, 22 is going to be B. So we move on down to 23. Nice diagram there. Switching the screen. All right, 22. All right, 23. Item 23 refers to the following diagram. The respiratory structure shown above is that of A, an alveolus, B, a trachea, C, a bronchiole, D, a gill filament. What's your answer for 23? A, B, C, or D? 23A. We move on to 24. Which of the following is an effect of nicotine found in cigarette smoke? A, increased heart rate. B, increased beating of cilia. C, reduced oxygen transport by the blood. D, increased mucus production in the cell lining the respiratory passage. What's your answer for 24? 24, answer is on screen. A. And we move on to 25. The events listed below are involved in the clotting of blood. 1, fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. 2, blood cells are trapped. 3, platelets are activated. 4, damage to blood vessel. Which of the following is the correct sequence of activity? A, 1, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4, 1. C, 3, 4, 1, 2. D, 4, 3, 1, 2. What's your answer for 25? 25, the answer is on screen. Yes. Sleep? Sleep where you want to sleep. All right? All right. Let's try it out. All right. In heart bypass surgery, an artery is advantageous over a vein to bypass the blockage because A, arteries have thicker, more muscular walls than veins. B, veins allow blood to flow in one direction. C, arteries carry blood away from the heart. D, veins carry only oxygenated blood. What's your answer? 26. What happened to the other islands? Nobody, what happened? Nobody, the other islands are not answering? What's wrong? I'm seeing Jamaica, I'm seeing Barbados, I'm seeing Trinidad. I think the Guyanese might be sleeping now. I'm not too sure what's happening. But I reckon, yes, I realize. All right, so there we go. We are looking at 26, so now we move on to 27. 27, which of the following option best identifies some of the transport substance in animals? Is it 1, amino acid, 2, hormone, 3, glucose? What's your answer? A, 1 and 2 only. B, 1 and 3 only. C, 2 and 3 only. Or is it D, 1, 2, and 3? Now, this is not the same question as the one we had in the 2018. In the 2018, we had sucrose. Now we have glucose. So what's your answer for 27? All right, so there we have the answer for 27. So we are moving on now to item 28. So 28 it will be. All right, give me a minute. Oh, right, sorry, I'm back. All right, so we go again. We are looking at item 20. We're looking at item 28. Let's go. In the transport of solute in the phloem, the source is defined as any area of a plant where A, water is taken out of a phloem, B, water is loaded into the phloem, C, sucrose is loaded into the phloem, D, sucrose is taken from the phloem. What's your answer for 28? 28, of course, will be C. 29. Artificial immunity can be best described as immunity A, acquired from the body natural defense against disease. B, produced by deliberate exposure to pathogen. C, that has been passed on from mother to child in the uterus. D, that has been passed on from mother's colostrum. Is it A, B, C, or D for 29? 29, it's going to be B. And we are moving on to 30. Item 30 refers to the following diagram of a mammalian kidney. Now, kidney nephron. Now, 1, 2, 3, you are seeing the parts there. Which option correctly identifies a function of a parts labeled 1, 2, and 3? So let us look at this. So 1 is the Bowman capsule, 2 is the proximal convoluted or the first convoluted tubule, and 3 is, of course, the loop of Henle. What's your answer here? A, 1, ultrafiltration, 2, water conservation, 3, selective reabsorption. B, ultrafiltration 1, 2, selective reabsorption, 3, water conservation. C, water conservation 1, ultrafiltration 2, urine production 3. D, 1, selective reabsorption, 2, ultrafiltration, and 3, water conservation. What's your answer for question 30? Is it A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D?
What's on the agenda for Smart Jamaica for this Tuesday? Highlights the latest observations. Plus, implementing national policy to end violence against children. We discuss for 7 o'clock. And from losing her job to starting her business. That's on Smart Jamaica.
You can't come and fix it for you. Our 31, the best description of a role of excretion in living organism is to A, produce urine, B, produce feces. C, get rid of toxic waste. D, get rid of excess water. What's your answer for 31? C is your answer there. 32, persons who suffer from kidney disease are most likely to have a decreased concentration of glucose in the blood, B, an increased concentration of protein in the blood, C, a decreased concentration of urea in the blood, D, an increased concentration of urea in the blood. What is your answer for item 32? Are you hearing? Answers on screen, D. 33. Which of the following correctly describes movement in plants? Remember this question? Movement in plant. Now it's not talking about trophic movement. It is now just talking about movement. So the answer is not the same. So A, irreversible whole or part movement. B, reversible whole or part movement. C, irreversible growth or part movement. D, reversible growth or part movement. What's your answer for 33? Honey, what you did with what I gave you? What's your answer here? Wow, this is going to be interesting. 33. 33. If I have a video. Wow. Now we'll have to talk about 33. So let me just take that off the screen. Wow. So we are all convinced that it is C. I had C and I just erased it. I had C and I just erased it. I just erased it just a while ago. So let me go back to the question. Which of the following correctly describe movements in plant? So before we answer this question and we all select C, let me ask you, what is really movement in plant? Remember, movement in plant is not only tropic movement, we also have nastic movement. And that is why I have been pointing out to you that this question on the 2019 paper is not the same question as the question on the 2018 paper. It's a different question. On the 2018 paper, we were looking at tropic movement. Now we are only looking at movement. So it's two different questions because tropic movement is a growth movement. So we're not talking about nastic movement at that time. But when we're talking about nastic movement and tropic movement, there are both two types of movement that have two different ways in which they operate. So for tropic movement, I'll repeat, it is a growth movement, it is directional, and it is irreversible. That's tropic movement. For nastic movement, it is not a growth movement, it is non-directional, and it is reversible. Those are the salient points that you should be using to answer this question. So C is not the answer as far as I can interpret movement. And if you have your book, you can go to your book and look at both nastic movement and tropism. Tropism is the growth movement. Nastic movement is not a growth movement. So what is your answer there? If we have any teacher in the room, could you join and just put your little word to that? Or put your word to that? You say a little word, it's not being insulted or anything like that. Right, so what's the answer? So I showed you both questions. In one question, 2018, we were looking at movement, tropic movement. In 2019, we are looking at movement. Two different questions. Sir, they didn't specify, they just said movement. So if you just say movement, it's movement. If you say movement, it is just movement. So if they, for me, if they just said movement, then I have to interpret it as both. I have to interpret it as both. I'm sorry. So C is a popular answer. We're seeing it here. But for me, the correct answer is going to be, and remember, you don't have to write my answer. You can discuss it with your teacher. For me, the correct answer here is going to be reversible, growth, or part movement. Why? So I'm going to go with D because I'm considering movement to be both nastic and tropic movement. I'm considering them both because the question did not specify. If there's anybody who wants to bring me clarity, I'll be too happy to listen to you. So you can send it to me either by email or otherwise. I like to learn. So if there's something you want to add to what I know, I'll be too happy to listen. All right. So for 33, for me, I'm going to go with D. I know the popular answer is C, but I am going with D. I had C as well. I don't know what informed me to have C, but now reading the question, and I'll read the question again before I move on. Which of the following correctly describes movement in plants? Remember, we all grew up knowing movement only to be tropic movement, growth movement. But then when we started doing biology, we now could add other names to movement as a movement that we saw in the mimosa plant, the shame-o lady plant, whenever the leaf is touched. All right, here we go. Here we go. Great. All right, so that's my explanation there. I am not saying that you should use my answer. Like you, I have had C, but I read the question again a while ago, and I think that my answer was wrong, and I just changed it to D. Yes, we are doing the 2019. We are doing the 2019. And the popular answer for the 2019 question 33 is C. But I'm saying that it is D. I'm seeing B, so let me look at B. And then I'll just move on. But remember, you can keep your answer if you so wish. No, it's not whole movement. A plant does not move from here to there. That is something that is reserved for an animal. But like I say, I am open. I am always open. I know I can see X today and probably tomorrow my interpretation is off. So I'm willing to listen. All right, so we move on to item. I am confused. Why are you confused? Tell me. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Why are you confused? Type in the chat. I will listen to you. I will listen to you. One other thing, we have two words, O-W-N and H-O-N-E. When you study, you have to make sure that you are benefiting from those two words. O-W-N and H-O-N-E. I try my best, but I have not mastered it as yet. Because it's a learning process. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a link to my 13 minutes video on movement in plants. I'm just going to type it. I'm just going to paste it here in the comment. You can open it and watch it when you are ready. So that's my video on movement. I would have done a comprehensive video on movement, on both nastic movement and tropic movement. So let me see the confused thing here. First, sir, what do you mean by reversible? That's a very good question. What I mean by reversible, look at my fingers. It represents the leaf of a shame old lady. I touch the leaf of the shame old lady and it closes. But after some time, it will open. For me, that is reversible. Right? So I touch it. So the Venus flytrap, the insect gets on the inside, it will close. And then after some time, it's open. Insect get in again, it will close. After some time, it opens. That is my interpretation. All right, so that is what I consider reversible. I'm not saying that you are going to grow to 5 feet and then you are going to go back down to 3. That is not that's not my interpretation. Irreversible, that is growth movement. Irreversible, that is a tropic movement. So it means that you would have grown, you cannot come back down. But reversible means that you will take up back the original position. So you need to look at nastic movement versus tropism. All right. You have enough time to consult with your teacher. And remember, you can always reach me and tell me. Is D the answer for 33? That's what I am selecting. And I gave my reason for selecting D. Of course, I am known to be the person out of the work. C is a popular answer. C is a popular answer. But if you can convince me why C is the answer, I might go with you. But based on my understanding, I think that D is the answer for this question, not for the other one that we did on 2018. So D as in dumpling. D or D for 33. Should I write that? All right. So I sent you my video. You can do some reading and you can watch the video. And always talk back to your teacher, because I like to say I am not the keeper of knowledge. And I can only tell you about things the way I see it, right? The way I see it is not necessarily right, right? But it could be right. So we can talk more about that. Sir, wouldn't you consider irreversible action to be a movement? That goes without saying, because we say nastic movement is a type of movement in plant. And we say tropic movement is a movement in plant. And with tropic movement, it's irreversible. With nastic movement, it is reversible. So both are type of movement in plants. So that go without saying. Whitey, sir, would you consider irreversible action to be a movement? I don't know if you understand what irreversible is. I want to help you. I'm not being rude here. I'm not being rude. When we talk about irreversible, or my interpretation of irreversible, help me hear somebody. My interpretation of irreversible is that a tree would have grown, and it's now a big tree, shade tree that we can sit under. Now it's big. It's not going to reverse to become small. Nope. Because it enjoyed what we call tropic movement. It's irreversible. On the other hand, if you know that plant that we call 10 o'clock, the plant that we call 10 o'clock, it open and closes. The Venus flytrap, it open and closes. The pollen tube goes down into the plant. All of those different type of movement we're looking at. So for me, based on my understanding of nastic movement and based on my understanding of tropic movement, and based on the fact that the question did not specify which type of movement, and they are using that comma, which I don't even understand the English around that comma, I want to say nastic movement is over here, so it is reversible. And trophic movement is on the other side. Let me just look at that again to make sure that I'm not making any error here. All right, great. Reversible and growth are part movement. It didn't say on. All right, can we move on? Yes, question 32 was D, and I am taking D for 33, but the popular answer for 33 actually C. That's a popular answer for 33 is C, but I am going with D. Please, somebody send in the comment and help me to understand better how I can get to C. All right, 34. In human, the skeletal system performs a variety of functions, including A, blood cell formation, B, hormone formation, C, immune response, and D, mastication. What's your answer for 34? The question didn't specify, but I could also ask, why are you using tropic movement? So we could use anyone. If that's where you're going, we could use anyone. Right? If you're saying the question didn't specify, so why are you? But remember, I am not saying that you should use what I use. I'm just telling you how I'm seeing it. All right? So don't leave here and say that I say you should. You can put a question sign behind it, beside it, and you can talk to your teacher. Your teacher can ring me up or send me a mail, WhatsApp me. I am open like that. I listen. I listen a whole lot. All right? So here we go. We are going to 34. So I have item 34. There is no controversy around that. The answer is the same thing we have, and I don't see anything there to question. All right. All right. I'll be very happy to even go on one of those fancy courses that I get to sort of help you even better. Yeah, I like that. I like to be trained. Right. But I'm sorry, that's how I see. All right, 35. Locomotion is an evolutionary adaptation performed by animals. What advantages does this mechanism have over the type of movement that occur in plants? One, the ability to move. Two, favorable condition. Two, increase changes, increase chances of predator attack, increases chances of predator attack. And three, the ability to find food. What's your answer? A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, D, 1, 2, and 3. What's your answer for 35? All right, the views are the same here. The answer is B. 36. I have a video on this one as well. In a matter of fact, I have several videos because all this lab you're seeing on the screen, this lab, all of these labs fall under tropic movement. So you have to look at all of them. Look at the mica, look at the agar gel. You have to look at axin, all of these stuff. So if you hear me saying some stuff, it's because I'm informed by those. But like I like to say, it's my interpretation. And I'm not going to take away anybody's interpretation or try to be rude because we're not seeing eye to eye. Item 36 refers to the following diagram illustrating an experiment. Now, after a few days, the tallest shoot would most likely be A1, B2, C3, and D4. 36. What's your answer? Uh, all right, so for 36, our answer there, we all agree on that. Due to the cells being elongated in order to go and find light. 37. Which of the following best describe the term stimulus and response? Stimulus coming first, response coming after. A deliberate provocation of an organism, the movement of an organism. B, an organism exposure to sunlight, the growth of an organism away from light. C, a wave of excitement in an organism, locomotion of an organism. D, a detectable change in an organism's environment, an organism reaction to a stimulus. 37. What's your answer? All right, we all can agree on 37. We don't need to send up any prior for this one. One mark won't cause it to fail. One mark won't cause it to fail. All right, so we're moving on. All right, great. Here we go. Item 38 refers to the following diagram, and you're seeing the diagram on screen. We would have seen a couple of these before. All right, please make note of what is happening. All right, the numbered structures are A, 1, sensory neuron, 2, motor neuron, 3 relay neuron, B 1 sensory neuron, 2 relay neuron, 3 motor neuron, C 1 motor neuron, 2 sensory neuron, and 3 relay neuron, D motor neuron, 2 relay neuron, and 3 sensory neuron. What is your answer for 38? I think we all will agree on 38. There'll be no need for a prior. C it is for 38. 39, item 39 refers to the following diagram of a section of a human skin. All right, so our question here, which structure is not involved in temperature regulation? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, and D, 4. 39. What's your answer for 39? 39. 39, we have no answer for 39. All right, 2 persons, 39. The answer is going to be B for 39. No need for prior. We're all there, all on the same path. All right, so we're at 40. All right, so we continue here at 40. 40. The smell of a hamburger being cooked caused Joan to salivate. Which of the following is the effector which bring about the response? A, smell of food. B, salivary gland. C, cell in the nose. D, secretion of saliva. Which is the effector? What's your answer here for 40? We'll all agree. All right, this is an easy one. A lot of persons are afraid of the hard things, but we can't be afraid. We have to face life as it is. 41. The following structure describes the process taking place within seeds during germination. 1. Embryo use food to develop radicle and plumule. 2. Enzymes break down protein into amino acid. 3. Soluble products move into the embryo. Which of the following correctly identifies the sequence of events during the germination of the seed? All right, is it A, 1, 2, 3, B, 1, 3, 2, C, 2, 1, 3, D, 2, 3, 1? What is your answer for 41? All right, so we are getting it a little better. It seems the prior is working. All right, we move on to 42. 42. Production of new organism from one parent only is known as A, sexual reproduction, B, asexual reproduction, C, mitosis, and D, meiosis. What's your answer for 42? I knew it. prior works. 42B. 43. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely 100% effective? A. Condom. B. Diaphragm. C. Tubal ligation. And D. Birth control pill. What's your answer for 43? All right, great. There we go. All right, 43 in. 44, we move on to 44. All right, 44. Item 44 refers to the following diagrams of flowers from two different types of plants. And we have, everybody should know these plants, wind pollinated and insect pollinated. The insect pollinated plant usually have a fluorescence. And for the wind pollinated, the anther is hanging on the outside and you have that feathery stigma. 44. Which of the following statement is true for both flowers? A. Both are wind pollinated. B. Petals are absent from both 1 and 2. C. Both are pollinated by a hummingbird. And of course, D. 1 is pollinated by the wind and 2 is pollinated by the hummingbird. What's your answer for 44? Answer on screen. 45. Which of the following is the correct sequence for seed formation after fertilization? A. Ovule, zygote, embryo, seed. B. Ovule, embryo, seed, zygote. C. Embryo, ovule, zygote, seed. D. Embryo, zygote, ovule, seed. 45 it is. What's your answer? The answer is on screen. Your answer is A. And we're moving on. Item 46 refers to the following diagram of specialized cells. Which of the following structure is common to both cells? A. Cilium. B. Nucleus. C. Cell wall. D. Acrosome. What's your answer for 46? '46. Answer there being B. 47. Item 47 refers to the following diagram, which shows the life cycle of a vector. At which stage is a vector easily controlled by the use of aerosol insecticides? Is it A1, B2, C3, D4? What's your answer for 47? 47. Your answer there is D. 48. Which of the following disease matches its category. So we have disease, then we have disease category. A, cholera, physiological. B, pellagra, heredity. C, AIDS, infectious. D, arteriosclerosis, pathogenic. What's your answer for 48? 48, what's your answer for 48? All right, the answer is on screen. The answer is actually C. 49. Which of the following are used in the management of diabetes? 1, diet. 2, exercise. 3, medication. A, 1 and 2 only. B, 1 and 3 only. C, 2 and 3 only. And D, 1, 2, and 3. What's your answer for 49? 49, the answer is on screen. D, it is 50. An animal which transmits a disease causing organism but is not adversely affected by it is called A, host, B, vector, C, parasite, D, pathogen. What is your answer for question 50? Is your answer there? And we move on to question 51. On a certain Caribbean island where sugar cane is grown, a fungus is accidentally introduced into the island and it destroys the entire crop of sugarcane. Which of the following best describes what happened? A, the plants were old and therefore more susceptible to the fungus. B, the plants were not of a hardy enough variety to withstand the fungus. C, the plants were planted too close together so the fungus spread easily. D, there was no genetic variation among the plant, so none survived the attack. What's your answer? 51. All right, 51, your answer on screen. So we move on to 52. 52. If a diploid organism has two different alleles for the same gene, it is described as being A, heterozygous, B, homozygous, C, dominant, and D, recessive. Tell me your answer for 52. Sorry, I'm back. All right, so 52, your answer is going to be, all right, there we are, right on ball. A is going to be for 52. 53, which of the following statements about meiosis is not true? A, it allows for genetic variation. B, it results in the production of gametes. C, it doubles the amount of chromosome in gametes. And D, it causes haploid cells to form from diploid cells. What's your answer? 53. Things are going well. I understand that it is very late. If you're in Barbados, it's 11:20, going up to 12 midnight. If you are in Trinidad, I understand that it's very late as well. You're an hour ahead of us. 54. Tarzan and Jane are heterozygous for blood group A and B, respectively. Which of the following shows all of the possible results of their genetic cross? Is it A, 100% AB, B, 50% A, 50% AB, C, 25% AB, 50% B, 25% O, D, 25% A, 25% B, 25% AB, 25% O. What's your answer for 54? The answer is on screen. Your answer there is D. We have been agreeing a whole lot. 55. Which of the following terms refers to visible characteristic of living things? A, genes, B, genotype, C, phenotype, and D, chromosome. What's your answer? 55. Answer on screen, sees your answer there. And we move down to the Punnett square. Item 56 refers to the following diagram, which represents a cross between two plants heterozygous for a particular characteristic. So we're seeing, are we seeing? We might not be seeing. I think we're not seeing. Some persons would have their paper, while other persons don't have a thing. So, all right, that's the page that we're looking for. All right, so 56, there are some persons with their paper. Which of the following completes the diagram at I at 1, 2, and 3? A, 1 common R, 2 capital R common R, 3 double R's common R's, 2 double R common. B, capital R, 2 common R's, 3 capital R common R, C, common R, 2 common R's, capital R, common R, D, capital R, common R, 2 common R. What's your answer for 56? All right, so for 56, your answer is going to be B. Awesome. And we are moving on up. 59. Which of the following would be involved in the production of insulin by genetic engineering. One, transfer of the human insulin genes to a bacterium, a vector to transfer the insulin genes, production of insulin by the bacterium. A, one only. B, one and two only. Three, two and three only. D, one, two, and three. What's your answer for 59? I missed 57. All right, let us go back to that. Oh, yes, and I might have missed 58 as well. So 57 it will be. One example of sex-linked disease is A, cancer, B, hypertension, C, color blindness, and D, Down syndrome. What's your answer for 57? 57? The answer there for 57 will be C. 58. A species consists of members that A, occupy the same habitat, B, reproduce by sexual means, C, interbreed under natural conditions, D, interbreed to produce infertile offspring. What's your answer for 58? Eight is going to be C. So we're moving on down. All right, so we're looking at 59. Which of the following would be involved in the production of insulin by genetic engineering? One, transfer of human insulin gene to a bacterium. Two, a vector to transfer the insulin gene. Three, production of insulin by bacterium. A, will you choose one only? B, will you choose one and two only? C, will you choose two and three? Or D, will you choose one, two, and three? What will be your decision? $59. Your answer is D. 60. Which of the following description is true about natural and artificial selection? Natural selection first, followed by artificial selection. A, natural selection occurs in domestic population. Artificial selection occurs in natural populations. B, natural selection involves genetic modification. Artificial selection largely controlled by the environment. C, natural selection produces great biological diversity. Artificial selection produces very different organisms from natural population. D is a faster process, is a slower process. What's your answer for question 60? That person using that expletive, you are not in your bedroom, neither are you talking to your parents. All right, so please go to your bed if you're tired. That type of behavior, you won't even pass worm tomorrow. C is your answer here. for question 60. I've never seen a student so out of order that does well. I've been teaching for 15 years. All right, that takes us to the end of the 2019 paper. So we have the 2020 paper. I don't know if we can do half of it now and probably half in the morning. And I don't know if it is bedtime. All right, I am not the person for it, you know. I am not seeking accolades. I am not seeking to be your friend. So if you need to use those expletives, go and wake your parents and share it with them. This is supposed to be a safe space, and there are some nice parents here with some nice kids that would prefer not to hear your language. Back in my days when I was a child, they used to have something called J's that they used to wash out the toilets. You need to get some to wash out your mouth. We will respectfully agree and disagree. You don't come here and use those type of language to anybody, not even to yourself. Not even to yourself. We will always have things that we don't agree with. It will always happen. Always. Right? But when you start to use that type of a language, then, and I can bet you're a Jamaican. I'm sorry, I am Jamaican too. I am Jamaican. But I can bet this child is a Jamaican. I hope nobody is offended by that. I am Jamaican. But the language tell me that it's Jamaican. We use those words. And the thing about this child has never been to an English class, so wouldn't even know how to use words properly. All right, so some persons are going to sleep. I want to hear from you. Do we do half of this paper or should we say good night? Let's move on. I know I have a lot of Jamaicans in the room, and it was never ever to say that we are being or rude as Jamaican. I was just looking at the language, and I'm saying that we have to know where we display our rude behavior. This is a Caribbean integration. We don't really want to wash this dirty linen in the public. All right, off for me, off please. I understand, off for me. All right, awesome. Let's look at this. Half of this paper. Persons want to go to bed. And then if I am up early enough, then I will start at 5. Usually my classes start at 5 in the morning. All right. Was I the person who answered this? Okay, it seems so. All right, great. Moving along. All right, great. So we're going to be doing half of this paper. Due January 2022. No, I don't have it on the system. I got it on my phone, but and usually I don't read the work January papers for June exam. Usually I don't do it. No, I file the papers differently. So I wouldn't have it to work. No, I know that it came to my phone. It's not downloaded, nothing like that. So I wouldn't be able to touch it. All right, let's move right on. All right, so number one, we are doing the 2020 paper. Which of the following feature is used to classify a group of organisms as class insecta? Is it A, size, shape, color, or leg? So A, size, B, shape, C, color, and D, leg. What's your answer? Number one, 2020 paper. Yes, 5 a.m. EST. That's Jamaican time. All right, D is going to be, yes, usually I have a morning class almost every morning with some student, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's my first class every day. 5 o'clock in the morning, either a lab class or something. Number two, which of the following sampling method is most suitable for estimating the density of mushroom in a garden? A, quadrat. I don't understand something. I'll give me a minute. The paper that you are seeing is not the paper that I have. So it seems to me, what paper are you seeing on screen? You want to tell me? Oh, this is 2021. All right, let me see where we went wrong. All right, this must be better now. Okay, great. So we should be seeing this paper. I think this paper here is a 2020 paper, I hope. Yes, it says 2020. It says the paper. All right, so we got number one right. Number two, which of the following sampling method is most suitable for estimating the density of mushroom in a garden? Is it A, quadrat, B, line transit, C, bell transit, D, mark, release, recapture? What's your answer? Or do you want to jump over the question that we have seen already and just look at those that we have not seen before? Yes, it's going to be 2A. Do you want me to jump over those that we have seen, or you want us to go through the entire paper? It's your call. All right, I take it that you want me to go through the paper. All right, I'll just go. All right, great. Living organisms such as plants are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following list of these determining factors, which of the following lists some of the determining factors? Let's increase it. A, parasitism, mutualism, commensalism. B, sunlight availability, soil pH, minerals. C, sediment size, uh, predation, disease. D, deforestation, slash and burn, shift in cultivation. You would have seen this question before. What's your answer for number three? All right, it's going to be awesome. Let's move on to four. Which of the following statements about recycling manufactured material are true? One, less energy is used in manufacturing of a new product by using the raw material from recycled product. Another repeated question. Some manufactured product can be recycled. Recycling of some non-biodegradable material uh, prevents landfill site from filling up too quickly and for a long time. What's our answer for number four? All right, the answer is there. So we move on to question number five. And you would have seen this. A trophic level one is represented by A, small fish and crustaceans, B, marine mammals, C, phytoplankton, and D, zooplankton. What is the answer for 6? All right, I'm sorry. What's the answer there for 6? All right, great. The answer for 6. So the answer for 6 there is going to be C. Oh, it's 5. Sorry. The answer for 5 there is going to be C. I was wondering. Answer for 5 is going to be C. All right. 5 is going to be C. All right, let's move on. All right, for 6, a farmer noticed pink mealybug in his garden. He is advised to introduce the ladybird beetle to control the mealybug. Now, the type of relationship between the mealybug and the ladybird beetle is described as A, commensalism, B, predator-prey, C, mutualism, and D, parasitism. What's your answer for question number 6? All right, answers on screen, B. Item 7 refers to the following food chain: phytoplankton, krill, herring, bass. The organism which receives the most and least energy, respectively, in the food chain are herring and krill, phytoplankton and bass, bass and phytoplankton, herring and phytoplankton. What's your answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? I will look back at number 4 when I get to 30. Listen to what you have to say about it. So 7 is going to be B, rightfully so. 7 will be B. Item 8 refers to the following diagram, which shows energy flow through an ecosystem. Now I don't know, let me make sure you're seeing the diagram. Oh, I'm logging, just give me a minute. All right, great. So the energy flow is not 100% efficient because energy is A, linear, moving from one organism to the next; B, circular, moving in and out of organisms; C, recycled from plant to the atmosphere; and D, lost through respiration and excretion. What's your answer for this question? It's going to be D. Moving on. The greatest threat to the survival of coral reef is A, decreased nitrogen level, B, increased dissolved oxygen. C, decreased household gases. And D, increased ocean temperature. What's your answer to this question? We're seeing a different paper here, so um, I don't have this paper on the side that I'm seeing. So what's your answer there? All right, it's going to be D. All right, great. So we move on. What's wrong? Huh? You want water? You want water? All right, let me get this. All right, which of the following are effects of pollution on coral reefs in the Caribbean? Less reef fish, more branching coral, increase in microbial and seagrass growth. What is your answer here? Number 10. Number 10, what's your answer? All right, so I have B for the answer for that question. All right, we move on to question number 11. And might I just say that this is another controversial question where my interpretation is a little different than other persons. And I'm just going to give Anna the water, and then I'm going to give you my interpretation, and I'll listen to what you have. All right, so let me read the question first, hear what you have before we get into anything like controversy. Which of the following factors most likely account for the change in population size from from 1989? So look at 1989. Let me see over there what you have over there. Just give me a second there. From 1980 to 1989. All right, great. So we're looking at 1980 to 1989. Now, what is your answer? I can't, a part of my thing is cut off. So one, increase in contraceptive use, epidemic of a deadly disease in, sorry, a decrease in fatal crime. What is your answer? Is it one? Is it A, 1 and 2, B, 1 and 3, C, 2 and 3, or D, 1, 2, and 3? What is your answer? Some say A, some are saying, and I stop. Some are saying, what's your answer? I'm seeing A. There's a 2020 paper. I'm seeing C, I'm seeing A. I am sorry. I have none of those as my answer, but I'll tell you what is my answer. I won't tell you what should be your answer. but I'll tell you what is my answer. So give me the 2 years that we're looking at. Type it in the chat. Type the start year and the end year, because I can't see it on myself. The start year and end year. And then I'll tell you what I'm seeing. All right, what's the start year and end year? Do that quickly for me. Based on your stuff that you're seeing here, look at the graph. All right, it seems as if it's 1980 to me and 1989. 1980, 1989. I hope, and I stop that. All right, 1980 to 1989. All right, look at the graph on screen. And we are going to look at 1980. So if you draw a line down 1980, you will realize that the graph is increasing from 1980 somewhere to about, and I don't know, for about 82. You observe that the graph is increasing there. And then you will observe that the graph is now decreasing. So there was initially an increase, and then there is a decrease. Now you are saying, based on what you would have be, you are saying that it is 1 and 3. So you are saying that it is an increase in contraceptive use that would have caused a decline in population. You are also saying for B, well, it's the first set, it's a decrease in fatal crime that would have caused an increase in the population. So at least most persons who would have chosen B, you are seeing that there's an increase. You are seeing that there's an increase in the population. But what about the epidemic of a deadly disease? Why is that not possible to have the decline in the population? Can somebody just tell me in the chat? Can somebody tell me in the chat? So for me, I think that it is 1, 2, and 3. Some persons think that it is 1 and 3. Some persons think that it is 1 and 2. But for me, if you had increased use of birth contraceptive and the population would have gotten smaller. I'm also saying that if you had a deadly epidemic, as they were portraying COVID to be, they were saying that persons were dying left, right, and center down in Westmoreland. So if persons were dying left, right, and center, like the Great Plagues, then that could have also caused the population to dwindle, right? And also, it is true that there probably was a reduction in fatal crime in the early part, so the population started growing, right? So for me, I chose D as my answer, but I realize that for this question, what makes a question controversial is when we realize that many persons are choosing many different answers for the question, right? But just look at the two part, don't look at the entire graph. I think that most persons try to read this graph looking at the entire graph, but all that we're supposed to look at is between 1980 and 1989. Do not look at 1998. Do not look at 2007. That is not a part of the data that we are studying, right? So increase in contraceptive use, that will cause the population to decline. Because a population will grow. There are two things that will drive the growth of a population. If your birth rate is higher than your death rate, your population will grow. If your death rate is higher than your birth rate, then your population will decline. If you have more persons emigrating than persons who are immigrating, then your population will also decline. There are also some other factors that could cause the population to decline, like war in Ukraine. There's a war in Ukraine. So then a war is something similar to fatal crimes. Persons are saying that Putin would have committed war crime. So if Putin committed war crime, this is a prime example here, that based on the killing there, that could have also caused the population to dwindle. So, an epidemic of a deadly disease like the Great Plagues, I don't know, ask your parents about the Great Plagues, that could have caused your population to fall. The war, the deadly crime could cause the population to fall. And decrease in deadly crime, then you are going to have your population rising. If there's a deadly crime, it would have Putin stop firebomb over Ukraine and persons go back and they start having children, then the population will increase. So for that reason, I personally think it is 1, 2, and 3. The deadly crime, the decrease in fatal crime is between 1980 to about 1982. That number 3 is giving rise to the population there. Now, the decrease in population between 82 and 89 could have been as a result of increased contraceptive use or an epidemic of a deadly disease, like I spoke about the Great Plagues. If we are going to talk about the increase in contraceptive use, we can also look at the unique population graph that Jamaica has. There's one thing that has worked in Jamaica over the years is the Ministry of Health campaign in the 80s that spoke about two is better than too many. So even though we are not a rich country, we have a population pyramid that is somewhat very unique and does not have the type of base of a poor as a poor. So for me, like I said, I'm done with the lecture. I go with E. Like I said, please consult with your teacher. If you're not sure. Well, you can put whatever you want. Remember, Mr. Wilson always said. All right, read the comment. Wait, you guys aren't marking the answers as you go along. Yes. They said most likely, so it has to be A. All right, read the comments. I am putting A. Hope they leave this one off the paper. All right, so let me see what is A. The A, 1 and 2. So some persons put in 1 and 2, so let's put in. Guys, let's also move over this one. I guess you'll have tomorrow to figure it out. But that's my thing, and I have never changed. This one is not one that I've changed, and it has always been my view. All right, number 12. When compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contains more A, vacuole, B, ribosome, C, mitochondria, D, chromosome. What's 12 for you? So 12 there is going to be C. 13, which of the following organelles is directly involved in photosynthesis? A, nucleus, B, cytoplasm, C, chloroplast, D, mitochondria. What is your answer for 13? What's your answer for 13? C. Item 14 refers to the following apparatus that was set up to show, and we would have seen this already. So we're going to start jumping over some stuff. 14 we would have seen it already. A mature plant cell is different from a mature plant cell is different from a mature animal cell because the mature plant cell has A, mitochondria, B, cell membrane, C, large permanent vacuole, D, a nucleus suspended in the cytoplasm. 15, what's your answer for 15? So 15 there, we are seeing an answer there for 15. It's going to be C. All right, so move on to 16. And we would have seen 16 earlier, so we are going to jump over 16. We have seen 17. And I just stopped. Which of the region of the tooth contains a large number of blood vessels? A nerve, is it A1, B2, C3, D4? We're looking at 18. What's your answer for 18? 18, what's your answer for 18? It means that it's probably my bedtime. We jumped over some of the questions because these are questions we've been answering since 9. So because we want to save some time, we have been upping over some questions, right? So if you, we would have upped over them because we answered them several times since night, probably 3, 4 times already. All right, so 18 there is C. And again, these two questions, we would have seen them. Yeah. Oh, wow. I can barely see what's happening. All right, let me try. So 19 is that glucose question. We're not going to be doing it. 20, autotrophic organism derives their nutrients from A, water only, B, complex organic substance only, C, simple inorganic substance only, both inorganic and organic substance. What's your answer for question 20? Question 20C. Question 20 is going to be C. All right, let's move on. Question 20C. Some of these things I'm not seeing them well. I'm sorry, I think I have to stop here. I can't see, a part of this paper is all cut off. The one that you're seeing is a paper I got. What I'll do, I'll just answer the questions on that where I can read them properly, and then we will take it from there tomorrow. So we're at 20, we can take it from there tomorrow. But it's really late, it's 2 minutes after 12 in Trinidad, 2 minutes after 12 in Barbados, and I think you need to get adequate rest to wait tomorrow if we're going to be able to move on. I know you have the exam in the evening. It was my pleasure being with you. We would have had ups and downs, such is the case. We would have had questions that everybody was all over the place on. Such is the place if you have a good exam set. When you have a good exam, there's always a question or two questions or a few questions that persons are going to have different views on. And that is what makes that exceptional student, the student who is going to be scoring that straight AAA, that straight AA profile that will set that student apart from the average student. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's based on how prepared we are. So I do understand that we have differences. Somebody asked me a question, but I will need to address something. I'm from a little island they call Jamaica. And from what I know, we probably would have tarnished our reputation in the international arena. I am the author of these books. I have about 5, 6 different books that I've written. A friend of mine told me that he's going to assist me in getting the book in another Caribbean island. I will not call it Caribbean island. He gave me the name of an individual in that island. And I called the individual and we had a video conversation. This gentleman doesn't know me from Adams. I just gave him the name of a person who gave me his number. We had a conversation. And the first time we spoke, you know, the first thing the man could have said to me as a Jamaican, he doesn't trust Jamaicans because Jamaicans are scammers. Now we're talking about a book deal. This book is a book that carries a ISBN number at the back. The book is on Amazon. I'm a YouTube vlogger. I can't hide. And the very first conversation we had, the first thing he said to me, he doesn't trust Jamaican. Jamaicans are scammers. I was offended and still offended. I was offended and I am still offended. I came off the phone and I deleted his number from my phone, never to have a conversation with any human being like that again. Give me an opportunity. Talk to me. Call back the individual. Find out who am I. But don't look at me for the first time. We've never ever crossed paths. And you are going to see me as a scammer. You don't trust Jamaican. I have had business relationship with parents and students across the Caribbean, and none can ever tell you that I've cheated them. What they can tell you, I am always giving more. So when I have a Jamaican coming on the channel and behaving in those type of mean manner, it upset me because it is a student like that or an adult like that that would have caused this gentleman from another Caribbean island to look at me trying to put forward my product and to see me as a scammer and a thief. So persons like these make me angry. And forgive me, other Jamaicans who heard me say it must be a Jamaican. But I know what has been said in some Caribbean island or probably some other place outside of Jamaica. I am not hiding from anyone, right? I operate this YouTube channel. I operate TCP Academy. We collect money from persons from right across the Caribbean using any one of our collection service, whether we are using PayPal, whether we are using Western Union, whether we are using bank transfer, and no one has ever paid us. And within 5 minutes of paying, once I'm home, they don't get some videos coming to their phone, the password to our platform, and a conversations. Many of the persons who are my client, they are right here in this room. None can say I have ever shortchanged them. None. Just like I'm here now, I'm teaching free of cost. I'm not paid. I'm extending myself. So when persons come and behave this kind of a way, it affects me. All right. So thank you very much for stopping by. I do hope that all will be well. You can always review those things that we have different opinion on, and you can share them with your teacher. I remember yesterday we were doing a HSP question, and I would have called some friends in Barbados. I called some friends in Guyana. I called some teachers across Jamaica, and I called another friend I had in the USA, and we all had a different answer. Until we meet again, take good care of yourselves. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share. All right? And remember to be kind to each other. Good night. You're welcome.